Hello guys, and welcome back to some more Lambda Wars beta tutorial. And this one I'm going to be showing you how to make a tactical defense, a proper one that will be able to stand off against tactical attacks or normal attacks. So for both rebels and combine, just like for the best attacks, and this one I'm going to be showing you the best type of defense for rebels and combine. And this is what I think are the best and cheapest and most effective. Now I'm going to be explaining the best defenses for rebels, and I'm not exactly 100% sure if they are the best or not, but this is what I think through all the hours I have in Lambda Wars and all the experience I had. Because as I am a rebel player, I know what works and what doesn't. So first up, which is I've got 3 this time, so 3 best ones for rebels and combat. So the third best, which I think it is the barrel traps. Now, the barrel traps are cool, because they're like the combine mortars, but they're different. Now, what's cool about it is that they will spread out as one or a few barrels do explode, and it's really effective because, I mean, this can cost a lot because you could easily lose your barrel towers, and your enemy can trick them to making the barrels land on themselves, which will destroy most of the barrels, and then you have to rebuild them again. And then the latest update was that they do cost scrap as well, so any mortar takes scrap to require it to charge. So barrel towers, I thought they were the best, but they're actually not, because they can be trolled and destroy your own stuff. So that's why I'm going to place it third of the best. Now the second one on my list, which I think is the one you always have to have at least of, a couple of these, and then you're fine, which is the managed turrets. Now they're easy, they're cheaper, and all you have to do is require one person to use it, and that's all done. So having a lot of these are very effective. I think they're more effective than, actually, no, I think the barrels are more effective, but these they're concentrated on one target first, and then the rest. So, and they don't destruct your own defense as well. I mean, there are a few things that the enemy can do to disrupt it. So let's say for rebels, another enemy rebel will like sabotage it, blow it up, and it's easily done, got rid of. Or the combine can use canisters, and then all the mentors are gone. But they're cheaper, less effective, but yeah, they're easier to lose, but it still works. And if you don't want to lose, if you don't want to get anything harmed by by barrels instead, these ones will do the proper work. Now the best one, I think, was the very best, which actually was the very best, but until a few updates did change that a lot. There was one that nerfed one of them, and then there was another one that nerfed the other. So what I'm talking about is the rockets and crossbows, the RPGs and the veterans, the marksmen. Now those two were the best. RPGs were like, they were so good against anything, and then you had the crossbows, fast reload, they were faster than snipers. They were just so effective. But the second latest update, Darkness did nerf the RPGs, because he always plays combine, so he's not good at versing rebels. So that's basically the only reason, because he's not even good as his own game. So he does that. So only RPGs can damage striders or elites, hunters, or flamers, or buildings. And the crossbows have the latest update that he's nerfed the crossbows. They've been raised population from 2 to 3, and they have a longer reload time as well. So it's painful now, because even though they're not that good for attack, they're not that good for defense now, because they have that extra second of reload and it requires more population, it becomes frustrating now, because what I'm talking about is the best type of defense you have is a bunker having two crossbowmen, I don't know what to call it, two marksmen, I'll call them marksmen instead, and two RPGs. So if you have a bunch of bunkers with that type of amount in it, like 3 or 4, that was enough for a defense. Because even though something got behind it or teleported behind, you just got to take them out and attack, which is it's simple, you know. But during this update, I don't know if it's actually the best, but it was the very best, and I think it still is. So even though it's cost effective, it still protects your base a lot, seriously a lot. Now for the Combine defense. Now I'm not that much of a Combine player. I've been playing Combine for a few times, but I haven't really mastered all the ways of Combine yet, since it is difficult to fight rebels when I'm playing Combine, because, you know, I'm not that much of a combat player. But I have seen like what kind of things the Combine can do, because they're unique and they're strong and they're powerful. Yeah, they're all these types of things that, like, some things are better than rebels, which they're starting to be because of these damn updates. And I've seen how good they were. So the third best, which I think it was, is I know not many people use this tactic, but it's used a lot in healing. No, not here. I mean Overrun. The game mode Overrun. It's been used a lot in that. I mean, even though it's a different game mode, it should still work in Annihilation or competitive. So what I call it is the healing frontline. So if you have a bunch of soldiers in like a line and use the hold position option to make them stand still while they're standing next to all the healing stations. Yeah, you don't use walls or turrets or bunkers. You just let them stay in there, and then, like, you don't have to send them back to get healed. They can just get healed while they're standing there, it's kind of effective against some types of attacks. Only some, but they're not that great. But it's cheap. It's kind of cheap, and it's easier to do, which I think is. But it only works against small types of attacks, though. But I still think it's a bit efficient. Now the second one was, I found a really effective against attacks, and it really works really well if you have a lot of these. Now what I'm talking about is the shields. The shields, if you have layers of shields, let's say you have 2 or 3 layers of shields, sometimes the enemy just bounces off. Like, let's say if you have a horde of rebels, like if they are 2 or flamers, they will just bounce off the shield, even with like dogs or hunters. But I mean, the striders can just walk over them, so it's not much point to them against them. But sometimes the enemy just bounces off, so you're getting more shots off, like with leaving your soldiers in the bunkers while the enemy is not doing anything to you. The first thing that would target is the generator that's powering the shields, because funny enough, the enemy doesn't fire at the shield generators first. They just got to go for the power generator that's powering the shields, which is weird. So they're just staying there trying to get to the shields while they're not even doing anything about the bunkers or the soldiers in it. So they're just getting free reign to get hit on. So it's very effective. Now this one, the best one I think it is, and it's annoyed me a lot, this tactic. Yeah, in late games like in Annihilation or competitive, when combat players use this, like, yeah, use shields as well and buckets, but there's one thing that adds to it that makes it extremely difficult is the mortars. the common mortars. I don't know what it is about them. I think it's overpowered. I mean, you may think, oh, the barrels are better. No. This one is better because they cost a bit of power, but the radius of the mortars, or where they land or hits upon the ground, the radius is large, and whatever is standing underneath it will get incinerated. So let's say if you have, however, dogs. Well, there was an update. There was an update added where one of the developers buffed the mortars, which deals more damage to enemy units and less damage to your own buildings. So now your buildings are more protected because they take less damage from the mortars that are hitting your base. But if your enemies, let's say, okay, you put shields down like I said last time, and then you have the mortars just laying tons of, I don't know what the type of power it is, but when it's just hitting the enemy so much, it's just so cost effective to them. It could really annoy your opponent or AI. So that's it. That's what I think the best defenses for Lambda was for Rebels and Combine. These ones can be used for Overrun, the game mode. I think that should work too, but there's some things you don't access for Overrun, but you can still try to use them though. But this is what I think is the best, so you can try them out, see if it works for you, or if you have better ones, tell me in the comments below. I'll be happy to read them. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this, please share and like, and I'll see you next time. So until then, have a great day.